Okay, good.
So this is what, lockdown log number 3?
365.
This is week 3 of isolation. And we had your sister Catherine last week. This week we've got Helen and Becky, who are the 2 Canadians who are staying with me.
Hello.
How are you guys enjoying life in the madhouse?
Pretty, you know what, actually, I think we're finally settling in a little bit.
We've all like settled into a rhythm now.
Yeah.
Which is like nice.
Aww.
And we have known each other for ages. Like we were friends right from when we were like teeny tiny. So
It helps.
Yeah, it helps.
Like extended family, almost.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Closest we could get. Yeah. It's been good.
Aww.
So how's your week been?
It's been about the same, really. I mean, my weeks got very boring. Although today I was up at the yard, and the yard owner was like, "Oh God, what are you doing to fill the time? Like, it's just so boring." And I was like, "I don't have enough time." She's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Well, I've got my AH training that's still going, so I've got to prepare the sheets for that, and I've got my band sheets I have to do, and I've got social media to do for the podcast, and interviews to sort out, and videos to plan, and all of this." And she was like, "Oh my God, how do you normally do it?" And I was like, "I don't know."
We've been doing a lot of exercise because so these guys do ultimate frisbee for Canada. So
And GB.
oh yeah,
Oh.
absolutely. Dual nationalities, honestly.
Yeah.
So we've been doing a lot of exercise, which is more than I was expecting.
We've made like creative weights out of buckets and things and loaded them up with
Yeah.
heavy
Oh,
weights.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
fun.
I keep talking to people who are like, "Oh, I've just bought a squat rack, or I've just bought this," and I'm like, "We're just using like a pipe from the garden and some tub trucks with bricks in."
But it's working.
It is
It's saving
working.
money.
Yeah, I did work very hard yesterday. But yeah, so I'm doing a lot of
Oh yeah, it's all that.
exercise that I'm not used to doing.
A lot of long walks too.
A lot of long walks. The dog has lost weight.
Oh wow.
He's looking very trim. I think he's getting a bit tired. Like every now and again you'll say like walk and he'll just be like, "Oh."
That's highly accurate.
You know. It's good for him. I was thinking the other day we should try and get I'll take a video or something of you trying to teach me how to play ultimate. Becky and I did throw a frisbee the other day. I'm not good.
You know what? She is actually better than she thinks she is. But I mean, it did take a downward spiral at the end. I think you got worse.
I did get worse.
So maybe we'll just cap it at like 5 minutes. I missed this completely.
That was when you were off doing your own thing,
Yeah.
and I offered Becky a tenner if she could hit your ass.
But she didn't. I missed. That was fun.
So, yeah, that's
How does ultimate frisbee work?
How does it work?
You guys can.
Yeah.
I think the best way I've found to describe it is that it's kind of a mix between football, netball, and American football. Because you score in an end, it's 7v7 on a pitch, but you can't run with the frisbee like netball. So you pass it between each other and try to catch it in the end zone, complete a pass in the end zone to score a point. So the game's usually to 15 points, and it goes back and forth. The first team to 15 points wins, and you can intercept it and defend it and things like that.
It's really cool to watch.
Yeah.
Like, it's really cool.
It's a lot faster paced than people think it is.
It sounds a bit like Quidditch.
It's so much better than Quidditch. It's so much better than Quidditch. It's not the first time we've had that comparison made, but it is definitely more fun. It has the potential to be an Olympic sport, and Quidditch will never be an Olympic sport.
We had an ultimate frisbee team at uni. Like Brooks had an ultimate frisbee team, but it was always like
They have a GB player.
Brooks.
Yeah, Erin McCready. She played U24 mix last year, and I think she was selected to be a training player on the GB senior team this year, and she decided to turn it down.
Oh, I feel really bad.
I think like she would have only just started when you she's younger than you.
Yeah.
So she's better now than she was like maybe when you were there.
Every time we saw them at like sports courts, you'd always be like ultimate frisbee. Even though my dad played ultimate frisbee when he was younger, much younger. But yes, we've been keeping very fit this week. I've been doing a lot of admin today. Did a whole spreadsheet for the podcast content, and I had to sort out my out of office email for work, because I initially set it to only sent to people within our company, and then so people were still emailing me, and I thought I'd fixed it this morning, but whatever I'd done, it went through every single one of my emails for the last 3 months and replied to all of them with my out of office.
Oh. Well, at least they'll know.
Well,
you covered your bases on that one.
Yeah.
One of our athletes messaged me, have a group chat with all of the athletes, and one of them messaged me like, Tess, is something wrong with your inbox? Because I've just got messages from you. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Although there was one athlete who was just relentlessly emailing me, and I kept being like, Liam, I'm not at work. I am not doing anything. And he has now got the picture. So
that's good.
He replied
I had to
and was like, so you're not in the office now? I was like, no, you 4 letter word. I'm not in the office. Anyway.
I had a really worrying thing happen today. My really reliable car that never breaks down on me decided that today it was going to show up a really, really worrying warning sign. And about my brakes.
All the time. The clutch fell out of it last year.
Yeah, but it's ancient and it's done over 200,000 miles. Like, give it some credit. But even when the clutch died, like, it was still drivable.
We worked on the same yard last year, and you had to go the driveway for it was like, as long as the road outside, like really long, but like potholes everywhere. And I just drive down it at like 20 miles an hour and like wiggle all over the road. I had so little faith in her car. She'd go down at honestly 5 miles an hour. I could have walked it and beat
Like, how early did you have to leave your house to get there on time then?
easily 15 minutes to get down the drive. Easy.
Yeah.
Getting to the shop, which I could have run there, was like a half-hour journey. Easily.
Hey, but my suspension is still intact, so I stand by my decision.
It is.
But anyway, my story from today. So I had to go to work, and then I came out and literally left the gate, and the parking brake light was like flashing at me, and then the anti-braking system light was on, and I was like, like, because also it's not like I can just call a mechanic, because, you know, everyone's in lockdown and you don't want to be near someone, and I can't really just take it into the garage. And also I can't not have my car because I need it to get to my horse, to look after my horse and to get to work. And I'm like, what do I do? So I went into sorry,
how far away is your horse? Like, could you walk there?
No, 20 minutes. I mean, by the time I'd walked there and gone home again, I'd have to leave home again to go and do it in the evening.
Yeah.
Not that close.
No.
But then I went back into work and was like, Dory, I've got this thing, what do I do? And she kind of came out and looked at it and checked the brake fluid and was like, well, I've had that before. And I drove all the way to the airport and drove home again and left it about 2 weeks and then finally got it fixed. And we were all alright, so you're probably fine. And then the time I'd driven where I had to go, it turned itself off. So I was like,
our mechanic definitely has absolutely no faith in my ability to look after my car at all, because every time I drop it off he's like, oh, what's now? And I'm like, I think it's like it like shakes when you do this. And he's like, so it's like a bad problem that you needed to bring it in for. And he's like, and I'm like, maybe. I don't know. Last time it was, so you know when we drove it to France, because we shared the drive all the way down to South France, you know how you get above 60 and it shakes? Turns out that needed looking at.
really?
11 hours of drive.
No, it was more than that. It was like 18 because it was 9 hours there, 9 hours back, and driving around when we were there.
Yeah. And if you count the bit on this side, it's like 11 hours each way, so a good like 24 hours. I took it for like a checkup before we went, and this windscreen wiper fluid squirters didn't work very well, and he was like, oh, the problem is like there's a crack in the pipe really far down, so like if I fix it I'm gonna have to like replace the whole pipe. And I was like, I think it'll probably be alright. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, like is it an issue that like needs to be fixed, or can I leave it for a bit? And he was like, well, you don't want to be stuck in France with a windscreen washer thing that doesn't work. And I was like, yeah, I think I'll probably be okay. And I didn't have the heart to be like, you know what, if push comes to shove, I'll just get a water bottle and like squish it. All you need is one of those Lucozade bottles that like have the cap that you can squirt people with. One of those, you lean out and like squirt it onto the windscreen and you're fine. Foolproof. I lost a lot of respect that day.
I think my mechanic has no respect for me when it comes to looking after my car, because every time I go in, he's like, wow, it's still going. Wow.
Doesn't
reached this many miles. It's so impressive.
Our mechanic's like that with the lorry, because so we have one of the lockers on the side. It has a door that opens like upwards like a car boot, and it's really hard to see when you're in the cab.
Yep.
So you can, as Alex, because I've done it in front of her, drive off with it open and you can't really tell. And if you hit something, it takes the door off. And every time the mechanic's like, every time we take it in, because it's happened, I want to say like 4 or 5 times. I've only done it once. And every time the mechanic's like, please let me just put like normal cupboard doors on that you'll be able to see. And we're like, no. No. Keep the vertically opening door. But we've got now, it has an alarm on it, so that if the door's open, when you turn the ignition on, it screams in the cab really, really loudly, which is horrible.
But it works.
Yeah. Exactly. But every time I have to take it in, he's just like, you took it off again. And it was the first time I did it, we were at this yard, and I heard the like crunching as it came off, and I leapt out, and Alex and this other guy were like, oh my god, what have you done, oh my god. And I was like, oh no, it's fine, it's like, don't worry, it's absolutely
this is
like
normal.
it happens. And they were like, oh my god, but all your stuff inside's gonna be soaked, because it was like pissing with rain. And I was like, no, the slipstream of the lorry keeps everything dry. And they were like, no, oh my god, it's gonna get wet. And I was like, no, we've done this before. No, it will be fine. You guys were so worried. It was so sweet.
Well, we did hear a massive crash and then see bits of your lorry flying around the yard.
That's fair. I'd be concerned.
I did get a lot of the mick taken out of me for that.
As you should.
Yeah. But you know what? Mum's done it once. Our neighbour who we shared it with has done it easily twice. I think Mum might have done it twice actually. Mum's only taken the steps off as well. I never did that. Oh, poor Laurie. Honestly, I'll
ruin your mum.
She listens to this as well.
Amazing.
In a couple of days, I'll get
amazing.
I don't think Dad's hit a wing mirror, but I don't think he's ever done anything else. He did hit someone else's car with it.
I think that's probably the worst.
It wasn't bad. It was just he took like a tail light out, and we didn't know that. It was kind of big. But yeah, our poor Laurie. Our poor vehicles in general, to be honest. I saw your sister got the guinea pigs out to do their Grand Prix.
Yeah, no, not just a Grand Prix. They did badminton. They did a dressage test. They've done themed cross-country fences, all on the different iconic badminton fences, and they've done a show jumping course that's got combinations, and it's got different styles of fences, and they're gonna do a flyover, and they're gonna do commentary. Like, you've got to wait for this. It's gonna be amazing.
When can we expect the video? I did see the titles actually. You sent me.
Well, they were recording the commentary today.
I want to do it.
You know how many guinea pigs?
I know. And the dog's really, it does not have an aptitude for it. Maybe the chickens.
Ooh. I love it. Get the chicken.
I don't know how biddable the chickens are. I have deep mistrust for the chickens.
I think that's valid.
Deep mistrust.
I really like ducks.
Ducks I could handle. Ducks I think I could.
Ducks are so cute and they have little personalities.
They're not that vicious, ducks. Chickens, evil. We discussed this the other day.
They are evil.
Truly. They are the only real living relative of dinosaurs, the most like quickly connected living relative of dinosaurs, and you can see it because they're vicious.
They're very vicious.
Vicious and evil. I have this really strong memory from being quite young, and some chickens of a friend of ours, they'd found a frog and they attacked it because they're vicious. We'll keep coming back to this point. And there were like 3 of them, and they grabbed its limbs and they were literally tearing it apart because they're vicious. It was frog scream. It was a really formative memory.
We went over this story already once this week because it was that intense.
It was an important. And that's why I don't trust them. Also, we have a control, and every now and again, if you go in the run with them, he'll attack you. Have you got
I have to do a shout out now.
Huh?
I've just got a text through from my brother, who is our #1 fan, and he always loves it when we get a shout out. And he's just said he listened to the last lockdown log, and his housemate came upstairs to see if he was right because he was laughing so much.
Is your brother still in Holland?
Yes, he is.
So Alex's dual nationality is Dutch, and her brother is doing a master's in Holland in Brexit law.
Ooh, that's fascinating.
Yeah, smart.
He's doing his master's in international law.
With the idea of going to do Brexit law, right?
Yeah, but maybe because he listens, maybe we shouldn't discuss what he's doing on the podcast, because I'll get a text that says you got it wrong.
Well, that's
that's what siblings are for.
Enough.
Yeah.
Is he still in Holland, or did your mum make him come back? I mean, I'm assuming your mum didn't.
No, he's in Holland because he hasn't finished yet. But we asked him how it was going, and he basically said that he spends most of his life in self-isolation anyway because he's a law student and he lives in the library, and he's still got lots of work. So now the rest of the country is doing what he's been doing for the last 9 months. So he just can't work in the library.
I mean, very fair. When did he finish? Probably not it's over.
Don't know. Before the end of the year?
It's exactly like me and my brother. Where does your brother live? London.
You and I know. I know the street he lives on.
Yeah, I don't know the street he lives on. I haven't been to. Yeah, I should probably at some point.
Are you still got enormous meals every evening?
We've relaxed a little bit with the whole dining thing. I've honestly, I mean, a little bit, not really. You guys did have a 3-course meal with candles.
We did. We did like a Team GB wrap-up dinner, and they told us to bring your own 3-course dinner. And so her mum, Kathy, set us up this like tablecloth table with like beautiful candlesticks. It was great.
Dad was waiting on them with like a towel over.
It was the cutest thing ever. It was so nice of them too.
You started with bruschetta, and then there was fish pie, and then homemade ice cream at the end. So
it was next level.
So we're still going pretty hard on the food thing.
Yeah.
It's for our souls right now, really. It's for the soul.
We did have a big roast yesterday.
We had toad in the hole on Saturday.
Yeah, that was good. You did very well there.
But it's been like there's a lot of good meals.
There's a lot of like classic British things that these guys haven't really cooked. So we've had cooking course as well. So like you learned how to make lasagna. You've done toad in the hole. What was next? There was something else.
I love how lasagna is a British meal.
I don't know if it is. I think it's pretty global, but as I've never.
It's definitely Italian.
We're a multicultural family. We adopt many cuisines. We do make a cracking lasagna. So Yeah, there was something. I mean, we've gone hard with the food.
It's been amazing.
There's pretty much always been brownies or some form of baked good in the house. Did you see the brownies I made the other day?
Yes, I did.
They were good.
I did. They were good.
They were like boxed brownie mix, but I put Lindor truffles in, and then they had extra chocolate chips on the top and caramel on the top, and then sea salt on the top as well. And I did burn them.
Only a little.
Only a little bit.
Only a little.
And the middle square is practically uncooked because I put them in too hot. So both raw and burnt, which I think is a skill.
It still tasted good.
We've been going through a cake a day.
I'm not.
No, family, because Mum's decided that she's not buying any snack food. So no biscuits, no crisps, no anything like that. So she's like, if you want to eat it, you have to make it. So we've been making a cake a day.
Amazing.
See, I think we should do that because my dad, at some point in the not too distant future, he is going to turn into a biscuit. Every time he goes to the biscuit table, he's like, who's been eating all the biscuits? And it's like, you. No one else eats them. It's
every time. That's why he knows it too. He just plays it.
It's like you made cookies the other day and he picks up the tin we'd put them in. He was like, where have all these cookies gone? It's like, I wonder.
I did eat a few of those. Yeah. I feel I love them today. They work. I'm gonna have to make more.
It was the big one. The big one again that was a little bit undercooked in the middle.
It was a doughy.
It was perfect. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Really, the only thing we've got really passionate about is food.
As we should. And velvet.
And
I made a really good cake this week.
yeah.
It was a muffin loaf. So it was all muffin batter. So it was like a big muffin in the shape of a loaf, and it had berries and white chocolate in it. So good.
Yum.
Maybe we'll make that next.
We should.
I saw something else I wanted to make as well. A friend's mum made a scone loaf. So it's like a cheese scone with other stuff she put in it, but like in a big loaf, so you could have slices of it, and that looked really good. I was a big fan of that.
I saw your mum's making bread.
Yeah, we started a sourdough. We have a starter because it's alive, so you have to keep like feeding it and letting it grow. And we've been making sourdough. It's pretty good.
It is good.
It's quite dense.
I like it. I like the one from today was really good.
Yeah, I think that was because that was the one that I needed, and I needed it for quite a long time. I think I needed it for longer than Mum did. I think Mum wussed out a little bit. just putting that out there. I don't think I needed it for long enough.
Did you ever do those cakes
Which ones?
Did you ever do those cakes when you were at school that had they were like sourdough cakes, where you had someone gave you the starter and it grew and you had to divide it in half and give like a friendship cake, and you gave the other someone else and it made like an apple cake? No? You look really blank.
I don't think I remember hearing about it. I think I've seen a recipe for one. I don't think I've ever. Maybe I just didn't have the right friends.
They let you down.
Honestly. I grabbed all my friends from secondary school. Why didn't you ever make me a friendship cake?
We did one and it was meant to be like a German apple cake and it was called Herman.
I do remember, that does ring a bell, like weird, naming weird cakes. That seems like something we would have done. I remember we made yogurt in one biology class as well. And you had to leave it for like a week. And then we got to the end and our teacher was like, look, we've made yogurt. And we were all like, okay, it was really gross though. So, like, I think she offered for all of us to have a taste and everyone was like, no, this looks gross.
We made, when we were in elementary school, we made apple pie out of crackers. And I think it was just sugar or something. But like you cook down the crackers in a pot and it tastes like apple pie after. We did that in our science class. And that one we all ate like a lot. It was amazing.
That's cool.
It was really cool. I'm sure we could do it. We can make this happen.
We had the
does it
best
taste like
science
apple
teacher. I
cider?
can't remember.
Science, man.
Is it like is it like if you get a piece of bread, if you hold the bread in your mouth and like just suck it for long enough, it ends up tasting like a sweet because the enzymes in your mouth break down all the starch, but break down the carbohydrates into glucose. And
I
it
think
ends
this
up
might
really
be
sweet.
our project for this week.
If anyone's
Love to
bored at
practice it.
home, what you do is you get a bit of bread and you just suck it for like, I think it's like 10-20 minutes. You've got to just,
That's a lot of minutes.
it's a long time.
That's actually a really long time.
It's really gross to
You're
try.
really bored.
But it's a good
people-
way to pass the time.
I was gonna say there is time on our hands, isn't there?
Yeah, so I mean, and it does end up just tasting of sugar. So
I think that should be your project this week. Is
No,
to
I
make
think-
apple pie out of crackers.
I was gonna say if you don't have
That
any
could
sweets
be
in the house, it could be your project.
that can be our next stop.
I don't have any free time.
While you
While you're
source
mucking
interviews
out,
and do other things.
while you're mucking out, just sucking on a bit of bread. Oh, truly, madness has hit. Has really hit. I did the first lockdown log was. I've been calling them like what we have. One, the first one was like set like hunkering down for the long haul. The last one was the long slide to insanity, and this one's going to be like
Insanity's here.
yeah.
Has arrived. We out here.
Yeah. I really do be like that sometimes. We pretty much exist in memes. I don't know whether your family has
And-
this as well.
TikTok video.
I
Yeah.
think it should be insanity.
Oh,
It really do be like that sometimes.
I'll write that
Yeah.
down. I'll write that down.
So good.
Anyway.
Anywho.
Every time I edit these, because I have to have the backing track just going like round and round and round in a loop. So obviously it gets stuck in my head and I end up just like insane. And I always come out with a bit more insane than I went in. So, you know.
you can change the backing music if you want. It doesn't have to be the same every time.
It works so well though. You know, like it just describes my mental faculty by this point.
So let's see if I can find you some more music.
Where did you find the last one?
YouTube?
I haven't tried YouTube yet. I found a website that gave you like half-hour long loop.
Yeah, no, it was like YouTube and it was free music to use as backing for download. And I was like, oh, that's what we need. So I'll try that.
That'll do.
And it said happy. And I was like, well, we're kind of happy. So
It is called like
that's
upbeat
the one.
music. And you know what?
Yeah.
It's not wrong.
Our podcast right now uses like a happy, I think that's actually exactly what it's called, is happy mix. So,
Yeah, Becky runs a podcast as well called Campaign Football, and their rule is that they have to have 2 lemonades before recording. And they talk about football.
And then another lemonade while recording. That's
Yeah.
the key. So it really does, yeah. And then we talk about football. It's great.
We haven't done that on this. I mean, everyone can have a vote. Anyone listening, give us an email if you reckon we should try it. Well, maybe we'll do one episode.
We're getting a blank look from
Alex.
No.
Badminton
Not
next.
bad.
We'll do all our interviews, and then on the Saturday night, we'll do an extra bonus episode.
Special, yes. Party special.
Yeah, and we'll, I don't know,
Okay.
Lemonade.
mark it as 18 plus or something. Right. Anything else we need to discuss? My laptop's on
No, I
100% at the moment, but it's not. It's getting flaky.
you stop doing that. You always do this when we do a lockdown log. You're like, oh yeah, my laptop's gonna die, and then just thunk, it goes.
That did happen last time. That's good. I mean, that's really good. Are you?
Really good, smooth, like tail off though. I thought that was really clever.
What? Mine? Just being
How
like,
you faded out the fact that the laptop had died.
I just altered the mix, so like it gradually got quieter and quieter. I'm getting quite good at the editing thing.
Yeah, really good at editing.
All our episodes used to be like, I mean, we did our first year of recording was literally just, there was no extra editing, but like introductions we did as we recorded, outros we did as we recorded, and like that was it. And then I did a compilation just after Christmas. I did a compilation of like all our best bits of like, we have 3 questions that we ask everyone, and I put a compilation together of all our favourite answers, and it took so long to the music. Like it was 20 minutes of recording, and it honestly took me 3-4 hours, if not more, and I felt like I'd gone insane. And I finished, I nearly cried. But you know what, it did sound really good, so hence we now have music for an intro and an outro, and I hope everyone appreciates it. Not that anyone's emailed me to tell me, which I'm not bitter about, so it's fine.
Clearly.
I'm absolutely fine with that no one's told me how great it sounds. Actually no, Alicia did. We had one of my friends is like another one of our top fans, and she's very bitter about the fact that she hasn't come on the podcast yet. I don't mind saying that, she will listen. Yeah, I think we will have to get her on eventually, and I don't want to give her any hope, but
if she's lucky.
she's gonna, as soon as this comes out, she's gonna bloody message me.
Anyway. You opened yourself up to that one.
I know. She's like reasonably funny though, so, and we can mute her on this.
No, I just cut it out after too.
Yeah.
That's what editing's for.
Yeah. You can mute her on Zoom. And, oh, I'm gonna get so many messages.
I'm sorry, I know I've never met you. I'm sorry.
So many messages.
You know what they say about Canadians being really polite?
It's fine. She'll take it very well. I've said it to her face.
Oh, my deepest apologies.
She rang me last time and was like, you know how you want family members on? Well, you know, what? There's only one step away from having me on, and I was like, no. We can do a Zoom call and you can record. No, no. Fine, but no. You keep giving her hope every now and again. We went to a hunt ball with you know, Lucy Elder, our horse and hound journalist. Well, Lucy was at a hunt ball we were at, and I like came in, and Alicia had driven me there. No, different one. I arrived and saw Alicia and was like, hi, and then saw Lucy and was like, you can't tell her that you were on the podcast because she'll be so angry that you've been on and she hasn't been on it. She knows that, so. Sorry, Alicia. We will have to get her on at some point. Oh, well.
Or you can just edit this bit out and then she'll never know.
I was thinking that you could always just take it out.
It's quite funny though.
It is funny.
I mean, we've got plenty of material for this episode, so you can just.
I always do that every time. Every time there's like Alex makes a funny joke, but she's like, "You will take that out." I'm like, "Yeah,
No.
Yeah. Tess, I was listening to your isolation sensation, and I was like, the number of times you've done that I've been like, oh yeah, we'll just take it out, and you're like, just leave it in. Or like, you've started recording, and we've just been recording, and I was like, oh, let's do the intro, but you just kept all the bits in at the beginning that you think could be quite funny. I mean, it was a funny, like, compilation episode, but I was like, oh yeah, like, I remember all this, and I remember all the text afterwards being like, why?
There's one bit that I kept in this, literally Alex talking to someone we were interviewing, where I'd been like, oh, don't worry, like, if you say anything you don't mean or that you want to change, tell me, I'll edit it out. And Alex is like, no, she won't.
Unreal.
Because it's always the funniest bit that we say, and then we're like, Maybe that'll come out. Maybe it will. Weirdly, my embarrassing bits always do come out. It's strange.
Strange how that works. The person doing the editing.
Yeah.
Tip to anyone who wants.
That's why I felt no sympathy when you complained about that photo going up on Instagram. I was like, number of times.
I just said, you know, maybe a bit where I'm not between poses.
Hey, I'm not a photographer, alright? Leave me alone.
Your sister is though. She took really good photos the other day.
She did. Really good.
Done very well. Very impressed. You know, last time we were.
I just rested them now. That'd be great.
You know, last time when you were saying that your dad had, she's got two sisters, Catherine and Louise, and her dad had been talking to Catherine.
Your computer's gonna die.
I know. We're on 5%.
Did I go to sleep?
Her dad was talking to Catherine and was like, "Oh, well, it's because you do this better than Louise does." And then Catherine go, "Well, what does Louise do better than me?" And her dad was just silent. She takes good photos.
She hasn't got anything. No. Yeah, she does do good photos.
Yeah, I think the photos is the thing. The good photos. She's good at YouTube as well. She sorted our YouTube right out. Not that it's got any videos on it really, but
yeah, she did. I mean, the YouTube channel that we haven't used yet, even though it's coming soon. It's
got the three of us going to Poe on it. That was the first time we used upbeat and happy music.
Yeah.
I liked that video. That was
Yeah.
Oh man, the food out there. It's so good. Alex doesn't like cheese or like ham and stuff, so really missed out. But oh, the food. It was so good.
Right, I might have to go and have dinner because
Okay.
I told my family that we'll be done by 7:30, and then you were late, so I need to go.
Yeah, it was me. They're Canadian, so
Different clocks.
yeah,
We're 8 hours
it's
behind.
a whole different.
We're 8 hours behind.
This is like when we were driving in France and Alex pulls out and she nearly drove on the wrong side of the road or something. She was like, "I'm sorry, I'm not from here, I'm English." And I was like, "You're not, you're Dutch." That was a fun trip. We were both so tired.
I think that was a really fun trip. We need to like make another trip sometime when it's all over. When we used to go to like Scotland or something, like the Royal Highland show, or like go to Ireland for the Dublin show.
Yes, very keen for that. Mum did suggest that we do a road trip and get some different voices on because she said, and I quote, "We're very southern heavy," which I think is fair. So we do need to do a road
I think
trip somewhere.
it is fair, but we have also only got so many hours in the day to go and meet the people.
Yeah, and most of our contacts are in the south. So maybe anyone listening, if you live anywhere that's not in the south, or you
Ooh,
go on then.
I've got someone in mind, but I'm not going to say it on the podcast because if it doesn't come off, it's going to be really upset. I'll tell.
Good idea.
Well, if anyone listening has any ideas, drop us an email. Hopefully,
Oh, don't say that.
We don't say that.
I'll be like Olympics. Oh, come on.
Okay. Or we'll go to Ireland or Scotland or somewhere, and we'll do a road trip then. And we'll take my car because the clutch is not going to fall out of it.
Got a new one last year. My clutch is not going to fall out of my car.
Okay, maybe we'll take your car then. Because your suspension's definitely in a better shape than mine, having driven down next to mine. I can smell good smells coming from the kitchen, and my laptop is definitely going to die. So we'll sign off.
Yeah, got food to go. So, bye.
We'll find another family member for next time.
Bye.